The next thing I wanted to mention is the other parts of the body. So I was talking about like hair and eyebrows, but when talking about like hair in your head, not just black women, excuse me, not just black women, other women too seem to be, I'm not gonna say all of them, aren't that comfortable with their hair. Now I'm not talking about like there are like times when you want to glam up or whatever. I mean, there are women who, they're just like, oh, I just want to dye my hair red today, or I just want to get a blue lock or something. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about there are people out there, men and women, I guess, men and women, who aren't comfortable with the hair that grows out of their body. And I mean, like, someone who's a brunette and she's like, oh, I'm not a blonde, I'm not pretty, or you even have like women who have like fine hair and are like, oh my gosh, my hair isn't like super curly, I hate my hair doesn't lock. And then you have like your people who lock and they're just like, oh my god, what's on this slippery hair? I have to it's like it just happens. And I mean, it's understandable why that happens to people, because people become very dependent upon a culture to tell them what they should and shouldn't like, and they base that upon what comes out in the music, on TV, newspaper, high fashion magazines, etc., etc. And there's also the antithesis of that, of people who are going to go against everything that culture puts out there. And I'm not going to say that everything that that our mainstream culture puts out is bad, but I'm just saying, it's odd that as varying as the spectrum of people that there are on this planet, color, hair-wise, height, body, physique, all that, and there's probably like 4 different types of ideal bodies that majority of people want. But anyways, I'm talking about hair. I'm gonna skip this part of the body and I'm gonna talk about leg hair. This isn't really this isn't a big surprise, I think, to a lot of women, what I'm about to say now. To some of the guys, it might be a surprise if they're watching, but a lot of women don't shave their hair all the time, their leg hair all the time, as far as to what my experience has been, especially if she's not dating, and especially if it's during a cold season. A lot of women I know, they're like, F it, it's winter, I am not shaving until I pull out my shorts in spring. I know a lot of women like that. And it's crazy because a lot of women think that they're not attractive, when this hair is growing naturally out of their bodies. And it's actually frustrating and really inconvenient, because I guess if guys could think of this a certain way. I mean, I know there are guys who shave every day and everything else, but it's like, imagine if when you woke up and 2-3 times a week, you were concerned about the hair in your face, as far as here, 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 and around the edges, your complete head. And then imagine like the hair in your armpits, here, and on your legs. Like, it's like a craziness. It really is. And of course there are some cultures where leg hair isn't a big deal. But as for me, my culture, American culture, growing up in an American family, there's a lot of expectations as to about hair. Moving on to the armpit. There's a woman, I believe her name is Emer O'Toole, and she popped up on some talk show somewhere, and she basically shocked everybody by coming up on stage, sitting down, talking about how women, oh my god, my internet's not working. Talking about how women need to own their bodies. And then she flashed everybody. I mean, her armpit wise. I mean, like, she had like these super uber bushy brown armpits. And I was hoping that my internet would be working so I could show that really quick. Okay, I'm gonna pull up later, I'm gonna flash it. But there's a really interesting article about it because there was a woman and she talked about the story, and the women who focused on the story began to talk about how women are so focused on the hair on their bodies and everything, and how even young women, girls who are pre-adolescent, as soon as hair comes on their body, they're told that they need to cut this off or burn this off or wax this off of their body, otherwise they're not considered beautiful. And in my head, psychologically, that's telling women, another thing that's telling women that there's something wrong with you. I mean, this happens to you naturally, but there is something wrong about this natural process that happens to your body as part of becoming a woman. And I think it's damaging. I really do.